Today we are going to discuss the key difference between Uber van and UberXL. Uber van is a category of Uber vehicle that has been introduced by Uber in Kenya, actually end of 2024. And vehicles have started to be enrolled, but it is expected to pick ground by early 2025. So for you to understand where we are coming from with Uber van and UberXL, it is important just for me to quickly mention the category of Uber vehicles that exists today. So we start with what we call the chap. So chap is the smallest category of vehicles for three passengers. Then we have what we call the Uber Comfort. We have the Uber Comfort that is for 4 passengers. I don't want to give more description about it at this point. Then from Uber Comfort, we have what we call the UberXL, which is for 6-seater. And then right now we have the Uber van, which is 7-seater. So we are not going to discuss the 2 categories here at the top, but I will do another video to just differentiate these 2 types of vehicles. But as it is right now, it's not difficult to confuse between Comfort and chap, because it's very clear in terms of the vehicles and the models. You can quickly see a vehicle and very easily say that it falls under chap or Uber Comfort. But for the newly introduced Uber van, a lot of drivers actually have told me to do a video and try and break down to them the difference between Uber van and UberXL in terms of their earnings, in terms of investors. If someone wants to buy a vehicle, they want to understand which vehicles will fall under Uber van. And also for the riders, for people who are traveling, they want to understand, if you open your app and you see there are 2 options of an Uber van and an UberXL, what is the difference if you request those vehicles? Because most cases, 2 different people can choose. One can choose UberXL, another one can choose Uber van. And then when the vehicles arrive, you see 2 Sientas approaching, and all of you had requested 2 different categories. But in this case, I just want to emphasize on the key differences. And one thing that these companies are very good at, Uber and Bolt and others, is lack of clarity. Uber, if you are looking for a company that will never give you clear information about what they look for, what they consider when accepting drivers, accepting cars, refusing drivers, all cars, you will not have a clarity. So this thing is based on several materials that I have researched, plus several emails that Uber have sent with regard to Uber van. And from my understanding, these are the differences that I'm going to outline to you. And just to give you a context and an example of the difference between Uber van and UberXL and how they are not different, and that's why I have said they are the same, but one has something more. In South Africa, for example, I have a friend of mine who told me that if you are in Johannesburg and you are a driver of a 7-seater, then in Johannesburg, they don't have Uber van. They have UberXL. So if you are in Johannesburg, you request for an Uber, only UberXL is available for you. If you are in Cape Town, the southern part of South Africa, they don't have UberXL, they have Uber van. So the same vehicle in Johannesburg that are in UberXL are the same vehicles in Cape Town that are under Uber van. So at the end of the day, these vehicles are not different. And we are going to see, but there is one that is attracting some premium kind of features when it comes to the car models. So let us start from the beginning. So understand that Uber van is the superior class, while UberXL is a bit inferior. So if you as the rider, you request Uber van, you will pay something extra. Even if it is the same vehicle that will come, for a reason that I don't know, you will pay something more if you request it as an Uber van. Secondly, is that all these vehicles that are in UberXL, they are all 7-seaters. We are talking of Serena, Voxe, Noah, Sienta. We know them as 7-seaters. But when you go into the app, Uber XL is said to be for 6 passengers, while for Uber van is for 7 passengers. So if you request for a Sienta via Uber XL, the driver will say only 6 people. If you request for Toyota Sienta, if it is accepted, or let me use for example a Voxe, because that one I know it's for both categories. If you request for a Voxe here, the driver will only accept 6. Here the driver can accept 7. Okay, so here they are saying that the 7-seaters that are accepted under Uber XL, they are spacious. Okay, we know them. But when it comes to van, they are more spacious. You get my point where I said it's the same, but one has more. Let us give examples. For example, here you have Toyota Sienta and you have Honda Stream. We all know those vehicles. If you don't know them, you can Google and just see how Toyota Sienta looks like and Honda Stream, how it looks like. When you come to the Uber van, a typical Uber van, we are talking of a Toyota Noah, we are talking of a Toyota Voxe, we are talking of an Alphard, we are talking of a Nissan Serena. Those are very big vehicles, more spacious. There is no way you can compare a Noah with a Sienta or a Noah with a Honda Stream if you know those vehicles. So we are saying that you get something extra with the van. But remember, everything that is van is also XL. Okay? But the opposite is not true. Okay? Every vehicle that is in Uber van, it is an Uber XL vehicle, so it is accepted there. But not every Uber XL is accepted as an Uber van. So that's why I just gave an example here of Honda Stream and Toyota Sienta, which are in XL, but they cannot be accepted under Uber van. In this case, an Alphard, a Noah, a Voxe is accepted as an XL. Okay, so on the side of Uber XL, here we are talking of just affordable for big groups. So if you are a group of 7 or you are a group of 2-3 people with a lot of luggage, you want to go to the airport, you want to go to a golf club to play some games, you have a team of teens you are taking out for activities, we are saying how can you transport bigger groups of people affordably? We are talking of Sienta. Sienta is spacious and cheap. But when it comes to Uber van, we are talking of a car that is just more than spacious. Voxe, Alphard, you know, very, very big vehicles. So 7 people inside an Alphard is not like 7 people inside a Sienta. We are talking about 2017 vehicles. So for a reason that I can also not explain, XL only accepts vehicles of 2017 and above. Vehicles of 2017 and above. So there we are talking of vehicles that are exactly 8 years as we speak. When it comes to Uber van, they are taking vehicles as of 2015 and above. So those are vehicles that are 12, is it? Yeah, around 10 years as we speak. So 2015 and above. Again, as I mentioned, if you request your trips via Uber van, normally you will pay 10% more. Okay? But as I said, the risk is that in most cases, Alphards are not many, Voxes are not many. So I suspect that if you ask for an Uber van, the same vehicle that you could have gotten through XL will also come through Uber van. Okay? Again, there is something that I was told by my friend in South Africa. She told me that some vehicles in Uber XL are also given access to Uber van if the driver has a 5-star rating. So not only the vehicle that matters, but if your vehicle is a 7-seater, it is spacious enough, and your driver, you as a driver, you are rated as a 5-star driver, you have good ratings, then your vehicle will be also given access to Uber van. So in South Africa, it's still the same thing. They have something called Uber Go, and I think UberX and UberX also for the small and medium categories. If your vehicle is relatively big, like in Kenya, we have Honda Fit, Mazda Demio, Suzuki Swift. Those vehicles are in chap. category, the smallest. But if, for instance, a driver has very good rating, you have 5 stars, and you have those small vehicle but spacious, then you can be given access to the higher class. So I think this is a strategy that probably in the future that Uber is going to apply, so that a person who has a Sienta, a 2017 model Sienta, fully loaded, very spacious, and that driver has a 5-star rating, why shouldn't that driver get access to the same competition like Alphard? Because in any case, in Alphard you have space, but here you are guaranteed of customer experience from that driver. So probably those are things that will unfold as we move on, but literally as it is right now, these are the key differences between Uber Van and UberXL in Kenya. Cheers.